One of the highlights of my job is actually walking onto a job site, probably in framing. You walk in, you smell the fresh timber. I just absolutely love that part of the job. My second favorite probably time to walk into a job site is after the home's been complete. Maybe it's been staged. You get to see the fit and finish that the builders put together, and you really get to see the creative energy that went into that house. It's always fun when you find some kind of a new detail or a new function to a house that you haven't seen before. And for me, that's a lot of why I do what I do. You know, of all the industries out there, the building industry for me is my favorite. I feel like we're doing something creative each and every day, that our builders are out there building a project or developing land. For me, it takes the numbers that we use as kind of a foundation, but at the end of the day, we're creating something. Even when I was a builder myself, I still drive past a house and I'll tell my kids, hey, I built that one, or I developed those lots over there. And for me, there's a lot of satisfaction in that, whether I'm developing, building, or whether I help somebody else do that. I think Builders Capital is a unique company in the fact that so many of us have been in the building industry before and have long backgrounds, whether it be in building, takeout mortgage, real estate. There's just a plethora of knowledge here at Builders Capital. So not only do we offer the services as a source of capital for our builders and our developers, but we have people on staff that are experienced in doing just that. So if there's ever a situation where somebody needs help, we're there to offer that. If you look forward over the next 5 years or so in the building industry, I think the biggest challenge we see going forward is a real lack of lots, especially when you get into the core counties, the A markets. We've gone through a time period where very few people were developing, and the current cycle for developing right now is about 5 to 7 years from the time that you write up a purchase sales agreement with a seller to the time you can actually start building a house on that. So we have about 5 or 7 years of some pretty significant lot constraints. So I think that will be an issue, but I do think that because of that, it will continue to prop up our prices here, especially in the Puget Sound area. We have a very limited land supply based on rivers and valleys and slopes and all these other things that really constrain, especially when you look at growth management. We just have a lot of constraints. So therefore, it's going to be very hard to come in and throw in 1,000 lot development like you might have in Southern California or Nevada that really can affect prices to the negative side. I think we're in a unique market that way. The housing industry, I think, has a huge impact on our local economy. If you look at all the recessions of the past, the real estate market has really led the country out of a recession. In this particular case, we're looking at every new home that's built usually creates about 4 jobs, ancillary jobs, whether it's framers, plumbers, electricians, a barista down the street that's able to open up a new shop because there are people living in that community. It is great to be able to be part of that industry and add so much to the economy. I think the unique thing about Builders Capital when a builder or developer were to look at us is we are a private lender. So our decisions that we make here are based on what makes sense, what it would mean to lend our money, because it is our money. We're not basing our decisions on what a regulator thinks we should be saying. We're basing it on what makes sense. Our team here, I think, is pretty unique for any company I've ever been involved with. When you look at our principals, we have one principal that comes from 3-generation strong commercial development background. We have another principal who built and sold the company to a national home builder in about a 3-year period, in probably some of the most tumultuous times we found in our market. We have another principal who has come from the mortgage industry and has 25 plus years in that industry as experience that he brings here, really understands the credit risk of a borrower, and the story behind our builders is something that we really focus on as we look at our packages. I think the investor experience of Builders Capital is a unique one. When you take a look at the other investment alternatives that are out there right now, the stock market, a CD, bonds, things like that, to me, every investment is, you should have a balanced, obviously, investment portfolio. However, Builders Capital offers an investor that chance to take their money and put it into an alternative investment vehicle that creates jobs, that makes families whole, that creates communities. And when you look at the performance of our fund over the years of its existence, has provided an outstanding return to our investors as well. Yeah, I think, one of the things that keeps us all going here is thinking about the end user, which is a home buyer. It may be somebody who's moving into a brand new house for the first time. Maybe they've never owned a new house. Maybe they're trading up to a new house from an existing house. But whatever that experience is, most likely they're going to have a couple months while that house is being finished to really think about it, to dream, maybe to even pick their finishes, their colors, their carpet, so that house becomes a unique extension of who they are. And it is really one of the true joys of what we do to see new home buyers walk into their brand new home.